Okay. Hello, hello. We are going to be just a second trying to get everybody inside the event. Give me 1 second. If you could type your name, where you're from in the chat, that would be great. Give me 1 second. Can you guys hear me? At this time, I want to make sure that the sound is good. We are waiting on our guest, Bridget. We had a little bit of technical difficulty getting Yardstream up and going. So thank you guys for bearing with us. We will get started here in just a moment. And we will not delay the time. Okay. I want to make sure Bridget can get in because we could talk about a lot of things, but she's supposed to join us today. So trying to make sure that she can get in. Technical difficulties. You got to love technical difficulties. Let's see. No, I can't hear you. Okay. Bridget. Okay, I see you. Can you hear can you say something now, Bridget? All right. So let's see. Give me 1 second. I don't know what is going on, but we are not going to fret. Bridget, can you please use this link to join StreamYard, please, and let me know if that works. You should have automatically been added, but I am not able to add you. So we're going to try it this way. If we can't do it this way, we will do a good old-fashioned Zoom link or Google link, which I hate to have to do, but we got to do what we got to do so we can get everybody on the actual event so we can get started. Okay. So let me see. Bridget, there you go. Okay. We are making some progress. Okay. All right. All right. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Here we go. We're gonna get this together. Okay. All right. So new technology. New technology. Yeah, it's a struggle. Okay. So I am so excited to be chatting with all of you guys. Welcome, Bridget, to the stage. We're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna tell you guys now. You're gonna be seeing my head move around, and I know that's gonna be distracting. But because I'm new to YardStream. I've never used StreamYard before for our recording, so this is the first time. It is not the first time that Nurses in Tech has provided or had a live session, but it is the first time that we are recording our podcast live. And today we have with us Miss Bridget. So I'm Amanda Payne. I am the founder of Nurses in Tech. I'm really excited for this opportunity to be able to chat with you guys and to invite all of you into our world and see more about what we do and what we talk about at Nurses in Tech. So anybody that is on LinkedIn, if you want to use the StreamYard link that is in the comments, you can do so. And you can also join the stage on StreamYard. I will add you. Our philosophy is the more the merrier to our conversations. I believe for StreamYard, up to 10 or 15 of you guys can be added to the stage. So I encourage you to hop on the live stream and I'll let you in. So excited. We are going to talk to Bridget. We're going to hear about what Bridget does. And then Nurses in Tech, it has a great announcement outside of the podcast that we're going to share with you guys at the end of the recording. And we're also going to offer a special offer for you guys to join Nurses in Tech community if that's what you're interested in doing. So before I go any further, let's introduce Bridget. I'm going to tell you what I think of Bridget. Bridget is like the quiet in the storm. She is like the diamond that is sitting there waiting for you to ask her to do something. She's not loud about it. She's not boisterous or prideful about it. She's just sitting there humbly. And if you are not in tune, you will miss Bridget. You will miss a blessing. And so Bridget comes to us. She is a nurse. First of all, Nurses in Tech. So she is a nurse. She is the owner of Sleep Deprived Nurse. She has been out on her own doing copywriting, websites, and all the things, marketing and branding, more branding. She just celebrated her year's anniversary a couple weeks ago. So I am excited to let you guys talk to her to give us some of her golden nuggets on branding and what it means to actually be a nurse that owns your own business and to jump out there on faith and to just go for it. So let me introduce to you guys Miss Bridget. Bridget, you can introduce yourself as way you see fit before we jump into the questions.
Well, I'm not sure that I can follow that up. But yes, I'm Bridget. I am the founder of Sleep Deprived Nurse, which is a copywriting studio for nurse entrepreneurs. I'm a nurse first, as Amanda said. I have been a nurse for 8 years now. I started in med surg. I went to ambulatory care for a little while, and then I did a travel assignment that kind of rocked my world. And I started writing and fell into copywriting along the way. And ever since, I have been doing brand messaging and website copy, and now website design in Squarespace for nurse entrepreneurs. So
Yes.
that's a little bit about me.
She's so modest. She says, she fell into it. And I want to talk about that because I think
Yeah.
that is somewhat of a common saying for nurses that end up owning their own business. What do you mean when you say you kind of fell into it?
So I guess I was the transition into writing was really like forced upon me, I guess I could say. Like I said, I did a travel assignment that really rocked my world. And my partner and I got invited to a dinner party. And while we were sitting there with the host, just chatting, talking about our background and our careers, finding common ground in our careers and all of that, the host asked me, how do you cope with it all? Being a bedside nurse and seeing all of the grief and the suffering that we see every day. And at the time, I really didn't have an answer, and so I kind of just brushed it off, and I was like, I don't, but it's fine. I'm fine not coping. And then she was like, no, seriously, like, really, how do you cope with it all?
Yeah.
Um, and I'm not joking. I like just burst into tears in the moment. And it was like the ugliest ugly cry you could ever imagine, but it was at like that was my pivotal moment. That was my push to be like, you need to change something,
Yeah.
otherwise you're not going to survive your career. And so I started writing. That was my creative outlet. And I was blogging mainly about my experiences at the bedside to help myself cope.
Yeah.
Um, and through blogging, through researching, through being on the internet more than I had been in the past, I found a website copywriter on Pinterest actually that I really loved. I loved the way that she marketed her business. I loved her website. She has a very like empathetic conversational writing style, and that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
Um, and so I say I fell into it because I just accidentally found her um, just through scrolling through Pinterest.
Yeah.
And I purchased her course and I dove head in, and it's been uphill ever since.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but but it's been honestly uh, transformational for my path. And I will say that I work specifically with nurses and their businesses because I believe that nurses want to create positive change. Um, and they're out here changing the world for the better,
Yeah.
with their ideas, with their technology, with their businesses, their products, whatever it is. Um, and I want to help support them in that journey.
Wow.
So,
So your story is like I said, you're always like so high, quiet and humble about the work that you do and why you do it. And so I think that's the first time I've actually verbally heard you say that you do what you do to help nurses get to where you are. But really, when you say where you are you talking about in being a copywriter, or are you more so talking about being an entrepreneur?
More so being an entrepreneur. I really want to help write their words and their brand messaging and their marketing, and help them find their audience and help their audience find them by the words that we're using on their websites and through SEO and all the things,
Yeah.
so that they can positively impact the communities that they're passionate about.
Yeah. Yeah. So how did you know that you wanted to help nurses specifically? So let's start with that. So if a nurse is gonna well, let's go back. You talked about how you got asked this question. So there's always this question about how do you know what type of business to start, right?
Mm.
So your story highlights that you knew what you didn't know exactly what business you were going to start first, but the burden upon your heart is when someone asked you, how do you cope with all of the things of being a nurse? How do you mentally, emotionally, even physically and spiritually cope with that? So that was actually the trigger to your business, but it wasn't your business idea. Can you better talk to that?
So I guess it comes down to like what I have always been passionate about and like naturally good at, aside from the training that I received as a nurse. I have always had journals and diaries for as long as I can remember. And, I have notes on my phone from years ago of creative storytelling and poems and
Yeah.
all these things. And it honestly just felt natural for me to start writing again. I had taken a hiatus. The last time that I had journaled was, I don't know, I want to say 2 or 3 years before. But up until that point, I had always had a journal and I had always been just writing down my thoughts as they came. And so I think just life just
Yeah.
happened, and it just felt, like I said, it just felt natural for me to start writing. And then, like I said, I found this copywriter, and the world said, "Hey, this is what you should be doing."
Okay. I'm a journaler. I'm a writer. I taught my kids to write. That is a great
Yeah,
way to process.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
what is a copywriter? Tell us what a copywriter is.
Ooh. A copywriter writes words to sell things and to convert readers into paying customers.
Okay.
Um, and for me specifically, and how I was trained as a copywriter, I use, as nurses, we have the saying like patient-centered care. I use that same type of like terminology, I guess, in the way that I write.
Okay.
In that like human-centered marketing. So my writing, my marketing, my brand messaging, it's all empathetic, conversational, understandable words. And it comes down to just knowing who your ideal customer is,
Yeah.
um, and not just knowing their demographics, but knowing like what gets them out of the bed in the morning, and knowing what their challenges are, knowing their the problems that they are searching for a solution on. um, it's knowing those things that we can really determine how your service or product can help your community and the
Yeah.
people that you're trying to market to.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna ask a tough question.
Oh no.
So how was it working with me on Nurses in Text?
Oh,
Brand messaging.
Oh my gosh, it was honestly so easy, Amanda, because you have such a clear picture in what you want to bring into the world. And you already have.
I'm glad you think so. 'Cause I don't think so.
Oh my gosh. I I don't believe that.
I
You
really, I
already.
really don't. I feel like I'd be like all over in space land, like all by myself.
uh, so you already had your 5 pillars for nurses in tech, and so um, and I feel like we already knew who your ideal customer was.
Yeah, of
and
course.
so and so it was I feel like it was so easy to just, piece it all together, to bring all of your ideas into one place. And I know that, it sounds a lot harder than it needs to be.
Yeah,
But that's what I'm here for. You say you've got all the ideas, and you have the clear picture and vision and what you want, and I just pull it all together
yeah,
into one cohesive brand voice.
yeah,
Um, so yeah.
yeah, yeah. So talk a little bit about sleep deprived, the services you offer, kind of what nurses can expect working with you. We'll come back to nurses in tech in a moment. Yeah, let's start there. I am
Okay.
gonna have you do a little pitch here in a moment, so
Oh
I'm
no.
telling you ahead of time before we get there, uh, because this is being recorded, so it will go up on social. So hopefully, people will be able to review this live replay and be able to find you, the nurses that need you, and talk to you and get your help and get your services. I want to say, as a business owner, also someone who has worked in marketing and sales for the last 5.5 years, that having someone that can compose your messaging and translate your brand with words in the way that's authentic to you is not an easy skill. You will find, I have found in my own experience, that working with copywriters, website copywriters, just any type of person that writes, that sometimes there's a challenge in them, in that person being able to separate their mind and what they've seen and what they think works from your actual desire and how you want to be heard, and that can be a challenge. That was not a challenge with Bridget. As a matter of fact, Bridget was able to compose my brain, my words and my thoughts, in a way that I think really portrays who I am. And so one of the things I was very passionate about with working with Bridget was, to be able to separate my brand, my voice, from nurses in tech, so nurses in tech could have its own brand and its own voice. So tell us a little bit more. And I know that was a long question, so let me go back to the question. I just get excited thinking about what you've done, and how much the work that you've done is going to help us to move us forward over the next year. You really compiled a brand message and a brand that we can be proud of, and that's something that's a worry that can kind of be put aside for a while. Not that we don't continue to perfect it, but that separation of the voices needed to be done very badly. So I'm grateful for you. So once again, tell us a little bit about Sleep Deprived, what it looks like for a nurse to work with you, and how can they find you?
Okay. Well, you can find me at sleepdeprivednurse.com. You can also find me here on LinkedIn. Um, all of my services are listed on my website, sleepdeprivednurse.com. Um, and the services that I provide right now, I have a special until the end of August. Um, and that is a website copy project in a week, completed in a week. And it's 4 pages of copy: home, about, services, and contact pages of your website. And then you'll be paying for that part of the project. But what I'm offering until the end of August is free web design in Squarespace or Wix. Um, and that's because I just really love websites, and I learned that I really love the creative process of actually designing the website itself.
Yes.
of course, I am new to it, so that's
How
why
did
I'm
you learn
offering
that,
it.
Bridget? How did you learn that you actually love that part of it?
Just through the projects that I've had with my clients. There's one client that I had specifically back in May. Her name's Casey. She just asked for a little bit more help on her web design. And so I got into her Wix website and I started tweaking it here and there. And during that whole project, I was like, man, I really love the designing process as well as the creative process of writing and brand messaging and all of that. So it was just kind of, as I was doing it, it kind of morphed into something else.
Yeah,
So I'm really excited about that offer. My second and like my very first offer that I ever came up with is just a copywriting package for 5 to 8 pages of website copy. That includes working with you on your brand messaging and brand strategy and how we're using your story to come up with that messaging that is weaved throughout your website. Um, and then my last offer is SEO strategy and blog content. So that package includes keyword research, market research, and search intent research. And then I come up with a blog strategy for you. And then I also write those blog posts for you. So it's 2 blog posts a month for 3 months is the
wow,
base uh, package. And then we can continue working together past that, or, we can end at the end of the 3 months.
yeah,
So yeah, that's what I offer.
yeah.
Come find me on my website or on LinkedIn. I'm happy to share more information for those who want it.
Thank you. So you have a testimonial in the comments.
I
Miss
do.
Teresa Burgess, yeah, Burgess says, Bridget
Yes.
did my website. Check it out. rnbyline.com.
Yep. And I actually designed her website too. She is the very first website I ever designed, other than mine, of course.
I'm about to ask you a question that's gonna be I don't know if I should ask it, but I kind of think I want to ask it. Did she know you were her first website when you did it?
Yeah, I believe so. I'm pretty sure I told her that because she was wondering if I did the design as well, because she initially had reached out about the copywriting
Yeah.
itself. And so then I was like, oh, well, I'm not experienced in design, but I can certainly help. And so she ended up going forward with both the copy and the design. So yeah.
Yeah. The reason I asked that question is because, and I know we're gonna get to nurses in tech, but the reason I asked that question because it brought up a thought. I was
Mm-hmm.
on a LinkedIn audio live last night with some entrepreneurs, women, a lot of nurses, and it came up about when you are a nurse and you're starting a business, how much we don't know about business, and that can be a great hindrance in the beginning, right? So the fact that she was able to, she knew that you'd never done a website, right? And she took a chance. To me, it speaks to the possibilities for not even just nurses, but especially for nurses. Since we're nurses, we're going to talk to nurses. That you don't have to be the best. You don't have to have 100 years of experience. You do have to be have a skill that you're confident in, right? You do have to be humble, and you do have to be honest and willing to learn. What else would you add? Thinking about the interaction with Teresa when you did her website, and it was the first website, and just even in her interaction, because she obviously was willing to take the risk on you. She had to pay you, so it wasn't like a free thing. So she paid you and took a risk.
Oh
Why do you
gosh.
think it was?
Oh gosh, I'm not sure that I would add anything to your
Teresa
list.
says, I knew it was new stuff for Bridget, and I was very pleased.
Oh, good. Yes. Yeah, I mean, I was pleased with their website too. It's so cute. She has a great website. So go check it out. And if you
Bridget,
need, she's a content writer as well. So if you need some content for your publication, go find her. She's awesome.
listen. So I think I put. So first of all, this is the first time using StreamYard, y'all. So y'all about to. This is us. This is how I talk regularly, and there are like 3 LinkedIn events on LinkedIn right now for this.
Are there? Oh, no.
There are right, and and I just when I logged in to try to get things going, I'm like, oh my God, I have no clue what's happening. Where are we streaming at? Where are we live at? What's happening? And we're laughing, but on one of the LinkedIn events in the comments, when I announced this, one of the other, her name is Amy, one of the other Nurses in Tech members, she said she can't wait to hear from Bridget because Bridget is awesome. And I said, yes, I can't wait either. I'm going to put her on blast. I'm going to make her talk about all her greatness. And she's like, great. Oh, there's nothing remarkable about me. She lies. She lies. You guys, she lies. And I'm just loving seeing this redness in your face where you're just so out of your comfort zone. It is like,
I am.
this is making me know that I am doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. So in Nurses in Tech, this gives me great joy being able to work with nurses and not have all the answers for them, but to be the support and the cheerleader that they need to say, you are a badass. Let's do this. I don't know if I can say badass on a live stream, but I did. So it might not get approved some places. I don't know. But that is literally the saying that I think I've said to every nurse that I've ever had an interview with or had a chat. I don't like interview chats with, and especially the nurses in our community, that nurses are badass and we have to own our greatness. And so I want to just applaud you because I have watched you grow. I remember the first time I asked you to do a live session and you were like, I don't really know what I was saying.
I said no.
You were like, I don't know what I would say. I don't know what I'll do. And this time around, you're like, yes, you were like a few weeks ago. Yes, I'm about to celebrate my 1 year. I have some ideas about this and this, and you were actually excited to do this. And I'm being so open right now. Yesterday, I canceled some stuff on our NIT calendar, and she's like, "Are we not doing this? Are we not having this live?"
I panicked.
I posted through the email that you were like, listen, I had to get my mind right to do this. So we are doing this live.
Yes.
And we're laughing, but I want to applaud you. I want you to know that, and I think I've said this to you, that you are awesome. You are brilliant in what you do. Because you have the heart of a nurse, which means you're empathetic, you're compassionate, you're open, you have this integrity about yourself that says, yeah, I want to make money and I want to have a great business, but alongside that, I want you to succeed. And that is something that cannot be taught. You can go to all the brand strategists, all the coaches, all the marketing people, all the academies, buy all the classes, but nobody can teach you how to actually have a heart to do what you're doing and have a heart for people. And at that point, it's a money exchange, but it's also a human exchange that just can't be explained. And so you are awesome. I want you to know you're great. You're amazing. I am grateful to know you, and I look forward to your continued success and seeing your name on LinkedIn and every other social platform, doing as many nurse websites as possible, even elevating into doing press releases and all the things that you do to help nurses get out there and to just be great, because nurses are great. Nurses are wonderful people. I can't think of any other profession that I can align us with. So we have to support one another and find one another. And so if you're watching this live, I want you to please, please, please share Bridget's website with a nurse that has a business. Don't worry about whether they need copywriting or website. Just share her information, because if a nurse has a business or they are dreaming or thinking of starting a business, they're going to need someone that can help them get their brand messaging together. And Bridget can do that. And I can speak to her heart. And so yeah, share Bridget's information with a few nurses today. So the next question I'm going to ask you is, talk a little bit about, so we have an announcement. I'm going to let Bridget make the announcement. I want you to tell us. Yeah, it's your work. So yeah, and I'm gonna not post it, but if you could talk about the work that you've done and what we're gonna launch today, it was your work. So I don't want to steal your work from you.
Um, I just dropped my website link in the comments. Um, so I want to just thank you for saying all of those words, Amanda. They're so nice and encouraging. I like you said, I the first time that you asked me on a live, I literally was like, heck no. I would never do anything like that. Um, I feel like writing about this stuff is so much different than talking about it. And I was just so terrified, so terrified of coming on a podcast and talking about my story and my business. But at the same time, I really wanted to start to do more things that scared me. And so since this scared me so much, I knew that I needed to be here with you. And I also knew that you I'm in good hands with you. And so I knew nothing could go wrong, right? And so the second time you asked me, I said, 100% yes, I have to do this. Um, and and so here I am. I'm
Yes,
so happy to be here. And yeah, just thank you for all the encouraging words. I appreciate it so much.
you are so welcome.
Um,
And they were all true. They were none of it was hyped up. So you're worthy of
and
all the kind words and all the support. And if I'm not good at anything, I'm great at being a cheerleader and a supporter. So yes, I appreciate your thank you, but you're welcome. You are so very welcome.
And it looks like you have the Nurses in Tech website up.
Well, I told you were gonna make an announcement. So
Yeah. So I believe our Nurses in Tech website is live.
it
So
is.
nursesintech.com. I worked with Amanda on her brand messaging for Nurses in Tech. Um, and you can go through and scroll through it, but it has all the information that you need to know about Nurses in Tech and all of the things that Nurses in Tech offers. It tells you a little bit more about the 5 pillars of Nurses in Tech, and how you can join the community.
Yeah.
So I'd love for you to jump on and explore the site a little bit.
Yeah.
We also have a few blog posts from members that we've highlighted in our community. So we have a blog post from Amy, who is a nurse leader and now entrepreneur, and Anna, who she shared her transition from nursing into tech entrepreneurship. And then I also wrote a little blog post a little bit more about my journey into copywriting and entrepreneurship as well.
Yep. 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 So I love how you said little. We have little blog posts. There's nothing little about the work that you have done.
I know.
Okay? I'm like, little, this is not little, this was hard work.
It
It
was.
was hard work. Talk a little bit about, the work, and it's okay if you could talk about me, but I do want you to talk a little bit about your experience creating not work. So we worked on the brand messaging first. Well,
Mhm.
so I know the first thing you did was you sent me this question on brand messaging that took me like, I don't know, like 2 months to answer. It took me so long to the point that you were like, Amanda, we can just hop on a phone call.
Yeah. Yeah, and I actually did learn from that as well, because some people don't like, or they become overwhelmed by having to answer questionnaires. And so I do offer with my clients, I do have a questionnaire, and some people really love the questionnaires, and some people don't. And that's okay too. And so I'll offer to get on a call with them, to go through the questions instead of doing a like clarity call that I do with the questionnaires. And so, yeah, so that first thing that I sent you was a questionnaire, just going through your, your ideal client and your messaging to see if you had any ideas about your values or mission, vision, all of that. I asked you all sorts of questions, and then we got on a call to clarify some of that. And after that, I sent you a brand voice guide. And so that kind of helped clarify the direction that we were going to go for the copy on the website.
Yeah. 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 So my thing was, I like the questionnaire. It was just for me. You really helped me because at that time, so Nurses in Tech launched put out the interest in January, or the announcement, did a waiting list in like February, or interest waiting list, and then the community opened in March. And so I think it was around April that we started with that, and it was just a really it was a really trying time for me working through the questions, not because the questions were harder, I didn't like the questions, because it really challenged me to sit down and really think about the future of Nurses in Tech versus the future of Amanda Payne. Lord Jesus, I just got married in March, you guys, so I was going back to that. But I love the fact that you were so patient and your questions were very detailed, and they challenged me not to just think about a great website, right? It was like, no, we don't want this, vain website that looks good, but it has no substance. So it made me do some inner thinking about what is Nurses in Tech? Why should Nurses in Tech exist? Why should people join? What is the impression that I want people to leave with from the website? Because if I'm going to have a website, everybody in Nurses in Tech knows I was against having a website in the very beginning. Everybody would ask, do you guys have a website? Like, no, we don't have a website. You can just talk to us and ask us. Why not trust us? You would rather have a website. And so I was against the website for the longest while, not because I didn't want us to have one, but because I myself am a very personable person. So I wanted our community to be cultivated by human interaction, and we've done that, and so we've learned some things. But as we're moving into the website, you really challenged me to think about, when people come to the website, what do I want them to know? What do I want them to know about Nurses in Tech? Mm-hmm. Right? And you really captured all of those things in the website through those questions. And so it wasn't that I didn't like it, it was that it really made me work. You not only, so as I scroll, you not only took those questions and took the ideas in my head that we put on paper, but you made them beautiful, right? So our mission here, nice and bold, right? As you scroll through these sections, each of the sections have their own personality. They give great, valuable information that's needed, that is important to our organization. They highlight, so even the assignment about talking to some of our members and getting an understanding of their experience and why they joined Nurses in Tech were turned into great blogs, which are amazing. I am going to, so I was able to bring it on where you guys can see it. So this is the blog post that will go live today, along with our website, by Bridget. The title is Finding Purpose with Bridget Montes. And it is so thought-provoking. It is so sincere. And it's no fluff. I'm a no fluff type of girl. I don't like all the fluffy words, right? I like words that have meaning and they have impact when they come to a person. And that's what you did. And so I thank you for being just a very humble person and being someone who cares about people, because that is why your work is so great. Is there anything I'm gonna stop here, and I'm gonna let you kind of tell us anything that we didn't cover that you'd like to talk about, but I also want you to kind of talk about your blog post and sum it up in your words. We're not gonna read it.
It was just about my journey into copywriting and then entrepreneurship with my business now. And my, why I want to work with nurses specifically. But then also at the end, it's about why I decided to join Nurses in Tech. And that really comes down to the fact that technology touches every part of our lives, um, both in our, everyday lives and our work life. And so, um, because we are nurses, we know, excuse me, we um, we want to be the champion of positive change. We know the things. We are, the heart of healthcare,
Yeah.
and so we know what needs to be done to make improvements in our patients' lives, in that in healthcare in general, and in our nursing profession.
Yeah.
And so, uh, I because of my experience as a copywriter and working with nurses, I knew um, that I wanted to help support those people that are creating positive change, um, in the technology that we use every single day. And there's so much that can be done. And so I wanted to be a part of the community that is making that happen, and pushing the critical nursing voice into the spotlight, um, and help champion that change.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of our members. We have grown together. We are
Yes.
still growing. Nurses in
Yes.
Tech is a community of nurses who really, I believe, have a heart to love and serve one another and to be a support. And I would say outside of that, the other things are just bonuses. And so as we move into the end of 2024, Nurses in Tech is going to be focusing on 5 pillars. And so those 5 pillars are, I'm going to attempt to remember them by memory, but that may not happen. The 5 pillars that we're focusing on moving forward are entrepreneurship, policy, innovation, career, and leadership. And the reason that those are the pillars are that we're focused on is because those are the areas in nursing, in healthcare as a whole, that I feel nurses should be involved in. And so, nurses should not be allowing doctors, anybody that's not a nurse should not be the voice of nursing. And today, 2024, we have a lot of allies. Now, we should have allies, but there are nurses in every sector of healthcare, and even every sector in the world, where nurses have some type of skill, experience, or leadership capability. And we have to be more upfront and more forceful. I'm going to use forceful. I don't want to say aggressive, but be more proactive in making sure people know that we're there. They know that we have value. They know that outside of our value, we have lived experience personally and professionally within the system that can help to change the system now and not later. Also, nurses by default are not about money, we're about people. And so as people, as a marketing tactic and even as a business tactic since COVID, we've seen more organizations talk about compassionate selling, or compassionate businesses, or compassionate something. It's all compassion now. They somehow in the business world realized that caring about people was a priority to making money. But nurses have always known that. And we will always operate from that space. Not that we don't want to make money, because we do, and we definitely need more training and understanding about how to make money. But we naturally care about people, so we do things that are in accordance with the best interest of people, right? And so in Nurses in Tech, I hope that and I know that we will continue to grow as a community, but moving forward from now, we are going to continue to build and grow as an organization. And our organization will focus on those 5 pillars. We will continue to build our community. And so if you are interested in joining Nurses in Tech, you can send me a message on LinkedIn. You can also send Bridget a message on LinkedIn, and we can get you set up with a conversation with me, and we can talk about what that can look like. Or you can go to our new contact page on our website, which I'm throwing in the chat. Thanks, Bridget. and you can fill that out. It will come straight to my email and we can set up some time to chat. Okay. I've asked, we have like 10 minutes. I've asked if anybody has any questions. I don't see any questions in the chat right now. But before we close out, I'm going to give you, Bridget, the last word. What didn't we cover that you think we should cover, or what would you like to say?
Oh no, I didn't prepare this part.
I'm sure you have something. No, that's okay
Oh,
too.
I don't think I have anything left to say. Honestly, I'm just so grateful to be a part of this very first podcast episode for Nurses in Tech, and I hope to be a part of some in the future.
Of course.
And and yeah, if you want to come find me on LinkedIn, come find me, DM me, and then also come find my website,
Yeah.
sleepdeprivednurse.com, and we can talk about brand messaging and your website and business and all the things. I'm happy to help.
Now, Bridget, is there a cost for your discovery calls or your initial calls or meetings, or can people meet with you to kind of chat about what they're thinking about? And there's not a charge. How does that work?
Yep, not a charge. I do 30-minute discovery calls. And yeah, we can chat about anything regarding your business or marketing, copywriting, websites, anything like that. We can chat about it, and see if you need my services, or maybe there's someone else in my network that I can send you to. And so we can, talk about just anything that's on your mind, and I'll try to find resources for you, if I'm not the right person.
Okay. All right. So we got a few more minutes. Question for you. How do somebody know if they need a copywriter? How does a nurse know if they need a copywriter?
That's a good question. Honestly, um, it just, I don't even know how to answer that question. They would need me because it's a lot easier than Googling everything, for sure. There, I will help clarify your story and your message, and I will help the SEO and getting you visible on Google. So if you're wanting those things, I can help you out with that.
So the answer to how you know you need a copywriter is you have a business.
Ah, yes.
Every nurse that has a business needs a copywriter, especially for your website, for your messaging that's going on a website or a landing page or something like that. Anna says, "Hi, Anna. Anna, I love Anna. Anna's another one of our members. Anna, Bridget, you did a great job taking what I wrote for the blog on the NIT website and made it extraordinary.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
We can work together on something soon. It was extraordinary." She said extraordinary. Okay. So you guys know Anna. If you don't know Anna, on you're on this LinkedIn live, go and connect with Anna. Anna is gonna be our next guest for our LinkedIn podcast. She just got that surprise. She didn't know that. So if I know Anna, she's over there laughing and she's giggling. She's probably gonna turn to a very serious face for a moment and kind of just sit there and sting, but then she'll be okay. Her and Bridget could be like nurse sister twins. They're full of greatness, but they're so meek and mild about their greatness. And I just love them both. She's what? Yes, Anna, you're up again. You are up again. And so I just want to say thank you to everybody that's here. We have a few more minutes, which we don't have to use, but we can. So not ready. Anna, why you're not ready? You are ready, Anna.
You are ready. If I can do it, so can you, Anna.
All right. Let's see. I do not want to pronounce your name wrong. I think it says Minette. She says, I met Bridget in last month's National Nurses Business Association conference, and I am here to support her. Thank you for being here to support her. Bridget, you know who that is?
I missed the name, and I don't see the comment on here.
Yeah, her name isn't coming up. It's Minette. Reyes,
Yeah.
Reyes.
Yeah. We met at National Nurses in Business Conference. So, and I honestly, that was the first time I've ever been to a conference too. So I've just been doing new things and pushing
Yes.
myself out of my comfort zone for the last month. I'm just,
Going to conferences is so important. We will be going to more next year. One of the initiatives that we are working on, as we develop nurses in tech into an actual, not so we have our community, but whereas we work to develop our organization, we definitely want to be able to help send nurses to conferences, especially if you have a business, because networking is so important. So I think one of the great pluses of being in a community of nurses is that once you connect with a nurse, you're able to capitalize and utilize their networks, right? And networking is an art. It is, you have to learn how to get your business out there. So even more important than, copywriting and a website is knowing how to network about your business, how to meet new people, how to talk about who you are and what you do so people can understand what you really do. And I don't think there's any other way to do that than to actually network and talk to people. So in our community, that's something I do regularly, is put our members on the spot to introduce themselves, talk about who they are, what they do. I remember when Bridget showed up to the first event she was at within our community. She's just like, "Hi, I'm Bridget."
yeah. Yeah.
Anna did the same thing. Yeah, I'm Anna. Like, it's just so wonderful to see, though, the evolution, how you guys have evolved into owning. No, I am Bridget. I do own Sleep Deprived Nurse. This is what I do. This is how I add value to your already great, but not or not so great business. But by the time I get done with you, your business will be great because you have a great website, you have a great brand message,
It'll
right?
shine.
It will shine, right? And it's just so amazing to see how you have evolved into this. And I just can't wait to see more websites. I can't forget the websites. I can't wait to see how many more nurses that you help to take their business to the next level so that they can help the people they need to help, but also live the life that they want to live. And ultimately, you guys, this is what it's all about. None of us, first of all, nursing school was not a cakewalk for any of us. Okay. If you are a nurse, you went through some hell and hot water to get that license. Okay. And if you can do that, you can do anything. That means owning a business. That means changing people's lives. That means changing the world, right? And I know being a business owner, entrepreneurship is not the answer to all things, but entrepreneurship gives us the ability to really own who we are and to be the owners of our own destiny. And that's something that I think every nurse wants to do. We go into nursing wanting to help people. And that's how we help people. And we have every skill that's needed to be able to do that. So that is my plug for every nurse that is watching this live. Every nurse should have a business. If you don't know what business you want to run yet, hit me up. We can talk about it. If you have a business and your business is not making a nice amount of money yet, you are not able to leave your bedside job, also you need to hit me up. Very practical steps, very practical advice. I'm not going to tell you to conquer the world at all, but I am going to give you the advice that will get you going and will help you be successful. And this is not a sales pitch. This is my honest gift to any nurse that is on our LinkedIn, my LinkedIn or my Facebook, or any nurse who reaches out to me. I do this regularly without charging a penny. But I am going to invite you, if you're a nurse, to join our community, because there are a lot of great people there and got a lot of great resources. And nothing is better than being a nurse entrepreneur than having other nurse entrepreneurs to be on the journey with you. So we are about to hit 2:00. So I want to thank you, Bridget, for this opportunity. I want to thank you for all the work that you did on our website. I want to thank you for agreeing to stay and to be a part of Nurses in Tech's core team as we move Nurses in Tech forward. And I just want to thank you for being an amazing person, a genuine, loving, kind, integral person.
Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate it so much.
So thank you to everybody that joined today. We look forward to you guys joining our next live podcast. The podcast link will go out later today. The website is live now, but I want to check and make sure there are no kinks in it. If you join this live session, you will be getting an email with the information. The only ask that we have is to share this podcast, this recording with other people, other nurse friends. Share it with people that aren't even nurses, because you never know who knows a nurse. And we really appreciate you. So everybody have a great Friday. We appreciate you. And as I say to my kids and everybody I love, go be great.